Group 9, Chapter 7, Artistic and Creative Literacy. Objectives. At the end of this chapter, you should be able to characterize artistic literacy, discuss the value of arts to education and practical life, identify approaches to developing or designing curriculum that cultivates the arts and creativity among learners. Formulate a personal definition of creativity and design creative and innovative classroom activities for a specific topic and grade level of students. Artistic literacy is defined in the National Coalition for Core Arts Standards, a conceptual framework for arts learning 2014 as the knowledge and understanding required to participate authentically in the arts. While individuals can learn about dance, media, music, theater, and visual arts through reading print text, artistic literacy requires that they engage in artistic creation processes directly through the use of materials, charcoal or paint or clay, musical instruments or scores, and in specific space, concert halls, stage, dance, rehearsal space, arts studios, and computer labs. Researchers have recognized that there are significant benefits of arts learning and engagement in schooling. Isner 2002, MENC 1996, Perso, Notions, Fraser, Selburn, and Tate 2011. The arts have been shown to create environments and conditions that result in improved academic, social, and behavioral outcomes for students from early childhood through the early and later years of schooling. However, due to range of arts forms in the diversity and complexity of programs and research that have been implemented, it is difficult to generalize findings concerning the strength of the relationships between the arts and the causal mechanism underpinning this association. The flexibility to the forms comprising the arts positions students to embody a range of literate practice to use their minds in verbal and nonverbal ways, communicate complex ideas in a variety of forms, understand words, sounds, or image, imagine new possibilities, and perceive to each goals and make them happen. Engaging in quality arts education experiences provides students with an outlet for powerful creative expression. Communication, aesthetically rich understanding and connection to the world around them. Being able to critically read and speak about art should not be the sole constituting factors for what counts as literacy and in the arts. Cherrified 2015. Considerable more dialogue, discussions, and research are necessary to form a deeper picture of the arts and creativity more broadly. The cultivation of imagination and creativity and the formation of deeper theory surrounding multimodality and multiliteracies in the arts are paramount. Eliot Isner posited valuable lessons or benefits that education can learn from arts, and he summarized this into 8 as follows. 1. Form and content cannot be separated. How something is said or done shapes the content of experience. In education, how something is taught, how curricula are organized, and how schools are designed impact upon what students will learn. These side effects may be the real main effects or practice. 2. Everything interacts. There is no content without form and no form without content. When the content at the form is changed, so too is form altered. Form and content are like two sides of a coin. 3. Nuance matters. To the extent to which teaching is an art, attention to nuance is critical. It can also be said that the artistic live in the details that the maker can shape and the course of creation. How a word is spoken, how a gesture is made, how a line is written, and how a melody is played. All affect the character of the whole. All depends upon the modulation of the nuances that constitute the act. 4. Surprise is not to be seen as an intruder in the processes of inquiry, but as a part of the rewards one reaps when working artistically. No surprise, no discovery, no process. Educators should not resist surprises, but create the condition to make it happen. It is one of the most powerful sources of intrinsic satisfaction. 5. Slowing down perception is the most promising way to see what is actually there. It is true that we have certain words to designate high levels of intelligence. We describe somebody as being slow, being swift or bright or sharp or fast on the pick-up. Speed in its swift states in a descriptor for those we call smart. Yet one of the qualities we ought to be promoting in our school is the slowing down our perception. The ability to take one's time to smell the flowers, to really perceive in the divine sense, and not merely to recognize what one looks at. 6. The limits of language are not limits of cognitions. We know more than we can tell. In common terms, literacy refers essentially to the ability to read and to write. But literacy can be reconceptualized as the creation and use of form of representation that will enable one to create meaning that will not take the impress to language in its conventional form. In addition, literacy is associated with high-level forms of cognitions. We learn to things that in order to know. One has to be able to say, however, as Palangi, 1969, remind us, we know more than we can tell. Number 7. Somatic experience is one of the most important indicators that someone has gotten it right. Related to the multiple ways in which we represent the word truth, our multiple form of literacy is the way in which we come to know the word truth through the entailments of our body. Sometimes one knows a process or an event through as skin or through one skin. Number 8. Open-ended data permit the exercise of imagination, and an exercise of the imagination is one of the most important of human attitudes. It is imagination, not necessity, that is the mother of inventions. Imagination, the source of new possibilities. In the arts, imagination is a primary virtue. So it should be in the teaching of mathematics, in all of the science, in history, and ended in virtually all that humans create. This achievement in this achievement would require for its realization a culture of schooling in which the imaginative aspect of the human condition were made possible. Explanation is, what is artistic literacy or creative literacy? Artistic literacy is a human right in a teachable skills. It is the ability to connect both personally and meaningful to words or to works of art, and through this process to forge connection to our humanity and the humanity of others. Thank you.
Artistic and creative literacy. Artistic literacy is defined in the National Coalition for Core Arts Standards. Artistic literacy is a human right and a technical skill. It is the ability to connect both personally and meaningfully to works of arts. Through this process to forge connection to our humanity and the humanity of others. Creative literacy is a concept that looks beyond sitting with a book. It is a holistic approach in that it incorporates activities that can strengthen reading skills but are more focused on broader learning. In many cases, it is an activity that on the surface doesn't even look like it's related to literacy or learning to read. A couple quick examples. Holding crayons help develop fine motor skills later used for writing. Drawing is a way to visually represent ideas and stories. Kids can build entire stories around a single object they drew. Scrabble has meaning to them too. Singing songs, especially rhyming ones, reinforce letter sound and build vocabulary. Question number 1. What are the significant benefits of arts learning? Question number 2. Where can learn about dance media, music, theater, and visual arts? Question number 3. What is literacy? Question number 4. Who is the professor of art and education? Here is the answer of our question. Answer number 1. The arts have been shown to create environments and conditions that result in improved academic, social, and behavioral outcomes for students. Answer number 2. Through reading print text, artistic literacy requires that they engage in artistic creation procedure directly through the use of materials? Answer number 3. In common terms, literacy refers essentially to the ability to read and to write. Answer number 4. Elliot Esner, Professor of Art and Education at the Stanford Graduate of Education and has one of U.S. promoted way that the art school benefits student learning and educational practice. Characterizing artistically literate individuals. How would you characterize an artistically literate student? Use a variety of artistic media, symbols, and metaphors to communicate their own ideas and respond to the artistic communication of others. Today's multimedia society is the arts and the media, and therefore provide powerful and essential means of communications. The arts provide unique symbols, systems, and metaphors that convey and inform life experience. Muna? Sino ba? Game na?
Oo, kanina pa.
Game na? Develop creative personal realization in at least one art form in which they continue active involvement as an adult. Participation in each of the arts as creators, performs, and audience member enables individuals to discover and develop their own creative capacity, therefore providing a source of lifelong satisfaction. Cultivate culture, history, and other connections through diverse forms and genres of artwork. Joy, inspiration, peace, intellectual stimulation, and meaning when they participate in the arts and seek artistic experiences and support the arts in their communities. How to apply the literacy in your daily life. Literacy allows us to make sense of a range of written, visual, and spoken text, including books, newspapers, magazine, television, radio, maps, and etc. What are the difference of artistic and creative literacy? The difference of artistic and creative literacy is the artistic is skills and talent we create paintings, drawings, and sculptures. But creative literacy is skills of using your imagination. What is the best uses to create literacy? We need to use or apply our experience to having a own literacy.
Issues in teaching creativity. Sir Ken Robinson, in his famous TED Talks on creativity and innovation, "Do school kills creativity? School is not killing creativity, but cultivating it by providing the foundations of young people need to be properly creative. Schools develop the literacy skills on which all furthering learning depends. How to escape education's death valley. Current education culture needs a revolution. Children need a broad curriculum to develop their various talents. The role of a teacher is to facilitate learning through engaging, stimulating, mentoring, and delivering. Robinson challenged educators to educate the well-being of learners and shift from the conventional learnings toward academic ability alone. Conventional learning such as textbook, readings, encyclopedia, or many more. In contrast to teaching aids, learning resources do not remain in the educational institution but can be carried by students. Give equal weight to the arts, the humanities, and to the physical education. A real education has to give equal weight to the arts, the humanities, and physical education. Students prosper best with a broad curriculum that celebrates their various talents. Facilitate learning and work toward stimulating curiosity among learners. Stimulate students' curiosity by encouraging valuable questions and tinkering, looking for teachable moments, and building lessons around current events and critical thinking. Awaken and develop powers of creativity among learners. Set up learning activities that allows students to explore their creativity, value their creativity, and celebrate and reward it. Teach their students the other skills they need to be creative and remove constraints for creativity and give students a space and a framework in which they can be creative.
What are some of the issues in teaching creativity? Teachers often have biases against creative students, fearing that creativity in the classroom will be disruptive. They devalue creative personality attributes such as risk-taking, impulsivity, and independence. They inhibit creative by focusing on the reproduction of knowledge and obedience class. These are the following issues in teaching creativity. First, issues and challenges of teaching creative writing. Second, different genre, forms of literature. Third, individual difference. And next, lack of motivation. Focus on surface errors, writing process.
Okay na.
Question: what happened when we did not know the arts and literacy? Literacy is vitally important to every individual's education and future studies. Pure literacy has negative effects that go away beyond the school years, including emotional, social, and even financial burdens. Number 2. What are the possible effects in the society, especially in the student, if they don't know the arts of literacy? Having strong literacy skills form the foundation for all our future learning. People without or do not have a strong foundation in literacy skills are unlikely to excel in school and later students. Number 3. Who is the Sir Ken Robinson? Sir Ken Robinson has a British author, speaker, and international advisor on education in the arts to government, non-profits, education, and art bodies.